San Diego's Coaster is a commuter rail service that currently runs from San Diego's Santa Fe Depot Station to Oceanside via Old Town, Sorrento Valley, Solana Beach, Encinitas, Carlsbad Poinsettia, and Carlsbad Village stations in 61 minutes along the Lausanne corridor. Lausanne is the second busiest intercity passenger rail line in the country and is the railway along which the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner, Coaster, and Metrolink trains run. While the Lausanne corridor began its life as almost completely single-tracked, when San Diegans extended the Transnet sales tax in 2004, the Lausanne corridor has been slowly getting double-tracked in bits and pieces, which still continues to this day. This greatly enhances reliability and allows for more trains to run on the corridor. However, there are still many things that can be done for both the Lausanne corridor as a whole and the coaster itself to truly take this rail line to the next level, which is what I am discussing today. The coaster services the busy I-5 corridor in San Diego and parallels the coastline, hence the name. Let's take a look at each station to better understand the line. Santa Fe Depot is the southernmost station on the line and is a hub for the trolley in the heart of downtown. It serves the Green Line, which runs every 15 minutes, and it serves the Blue Line as well. The northbound Blue Line runs every 15 minutes, but the Blue Line runs south every 7.5 minutes at peak if you walk to the adjacent America Plaza station where half of the trains currently turn around. The station is by the waterfront and surrounded by the tallest skyscrapers in the city. To the north, Old Town provides another significant transfer opportunity. Located at the historic original settlement of San Diego, the Old Town area has plenty of parks and history to enjoy. As for connecting transit, the Blue and Green Lines diverge just north of Old Town, and this is the last station to catch the trolley at the moment. There are also a ton of quality bus connections at the attached transit center as well. After a very circuitous jog around Miramar Hill, the next station on the line is Sorrento Valley. Situated at the very western end of the biggest job center in the county, this is the busiest non-terminus stop on the coaster. Unfortunately, the station is located west of the 5 and 805 and quite far from the main part of Sorrento Valley, and in fact is well west of the planned Purple Line Sorrento Valley station, which is closer to the heart. This imperfect station location, along with poor nearby land use, necessitates the use of shuttles to get to and from offices. Moving north, Solana Beach Station is another big hub. The Pacific Surfliner stops here, along with a couple buses. Importantly, you can access the beach just a couple blocks away. To the north, the coaster makes a stop at Encinitas. This station is very similar to Solana Beach. It connects with NCTD Route 101 for more local corridor trips and serves the nearby beach and beach neighborhoods. The next station is Carlsbad Poinsettia. It services southwestern Carlsbad and is located nearby the famous flower fields, Legoland, and McClellan Palomar Airport. This station is located in a residential area, however it has pretty poor pedestrian connections with nearby developments, which should be improved. The other Carlsbad station is in Carlsbad Village. This is Carlsbad's downtown and serves the 5th largest city in the county. It similarly is also located quite near the ocean. The northern terminus of the line is Oceanside Station. Oceanside is the 3rd largest city in San Diego County, and the station hits the heart of its downtown. It is a huge transfer hub serving 5 separate rail lines. The coaster, of course, ends here. However, it is also the terminus for the Hybrid Rail Sprinter line, along with the Metrolink Orange County and Metrolink Inland Empire Orange County lines. The Pacific Surfliner also stops here, but continues further. Its transit center also services plenty of North County Transit District bus routes. With locations out of the way, let's talk frequency. The service makes 15 to 17 trips in each direction on weekdays with only 10 to 11 on weekends. Trips are surprisingly not that peaky in timing or direction. On weekdays, trains depart roughly every 40 minutes at peak with hourly midday service provided. Fridays have an additional late-night departure in both directions. On weekdays, if there is a special event at Petco Park or a Padres game, an extra train service is provided northbound an hour after the event ends. Since this is a commuter rail line, on weekends service is every 80 minutes with no improved peak period frequency. Due to the infrequent service, the coaster averaged just 3.2 thousand daily riders. However, near and medium-term planned improvements will be transformational for the line. Currently, one of the biggest issues plaguing the coaster is reliability. A 1.7-mile section of the train tracks in Del Mar sits atop unstable cliffs. These bluffs erode at a rate of 6 inches per year and collapse relatively frequently, completely shutting down the railway. While hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent stabilizing these bluffs, train service along the second busiest intercity corridor in the nation is often impacted or halted. Moving the tracks off of these cliffs is vital to ensure the rail corridor reliability, but unfortunately, a tunnel is years and billions of dollars away. Once the tunnel is built, however, trip times should hopefully improve, along with safety and reliability. Let's dive into the tunnel options though. Sandag has narrowed down their options to 4 main routings: an eastern alignment that mostly tunnels underneath the 5, a central option that's the fastest, a western option that runs underneath Camino del Mar, and a non-tunneling option that instead would double track the tracks that are already falling off of cliffs. I am not a fan of tunneling under the 5 or the non-tunnel option, as neither cost-effectively serves the intended purpose. Starting with the I-5 tunnel, which would deviate from the current tracks just north of Carmel Mountain Road. It would then continue above ground on the marsh by the freeway for a little while before diving underground. It would run parallel to the 5 until turning to run just south of the San Dieguito Lagoon and connecting back to the current alignment north of the fairgrounds. Due to the constrained nature of the alignment, there would be a couple of 30-mile-per-hour curves, drastically slowing it down. And on top of that, it would cost $3.7 to $5 billion. There are 2 good tunneling options: the Crest Canyon alignment and the Camino del Mar alignment. The Crest Canyon alignment would split off at the same spot as the I-5 route and dive underground in the same spot as well. However, instead of continuing north, it turns slightly to continue northwest. It then continues roughly northwest with slight curves before surfacing just north of where Jimmy Durante Boulevard and Camino del Mar meet. This is the fastest alignment and would cost $3.7 to $4.9 billion. The other option is the Camino del Mar alignment. It would run much further along the current alignment and splits off just south of Carmel Valley Road. It would then run along and under Camino del Mar before resurfacing at the same spot as the Crest Canyon alignment, just north of where Jimmy Durante Boulevard and Camino del Mar meet. It would be a bit slower with a 90-mile-per-hour top speed compared to Crest Canyon's 110 miles per hour, but it would cost less at $3.3 to $4.4 billion. Selecting the correct Del Mar tunnel alignment is crucial in ensuring the short and long-term stability and reliability on this vital rail corridor. I personally support the Camino del Mar and Crest Canyon alignments as they are the fastest and best value. The I-5 alignment is cost prohibitive, slow, and wouldn't allow a planned infill station, which I'll get to in a second. The non-tunneled option faces significant long-term challenges. It doesn't meaningfully address the cliff crumbling concerns. A fast tunnel would ensure reliability and speed up trips by a few minutes. Another important note about the tunnel is that we must ensure that Sandag builds a tunnel with enough clearance for overhead wire, fittingly enough. This is critical, as if Sandag built this vital tunnel without leaving room for future electrification, the entire Los Angeles rail line can be hamstrung. The additional cost is relatively minor, and electrifying trains speeds up travel times and reduces greenhouse gas emissions. I will get into how to advocate this for the end of the video, but check the link in the description. Additionally, even though the coaster runs on tracks paralleling a lot of the trolley system, it has very few interchanges with it. Additionally, the railway extends both north and south from the coaster's current termini. Due to this, it has potential for multiple new and infill stations. 2 planned Blue Line connections are at Balboa Avenue and at UTC. In the northern portions of the line, there are plans to add an infill station at the Mar Fairgrounds and to extend the route to Camp Pendleton. At the southern end, a stop is soon going to be constructed at the Convention Center station. The Balboa Avenue infill stop would connect with Balboa Avenue's Blue Line station, which has bus connections and parking. It would also provide a good connection to a major east-west thoroughfare. It additionally serves as a gateway to Pacific Beach. The UTC station would require a lot more work to make happen. While the Balboa Avenue station would be on tracks directly next to the Blue Line station, the UTC area is situated atop Miramar Hill, and the current route takes a circuitous alignment around the hill to deal with the change in grade. This long and windy route has to be navigated extremely slowly and has a big impact on travel times. The Blue Line handles this by taking a different route aerially to handle the elevation change and makes multiple stops between Balboa Avenue and UTC. The UTC coaster stop, meanwhile, would involve a tunnel to go through the hill rather than skirt around it. By tunneling under UTC, the coaster and eventually the Pacific Surfliner would be able to service one of the busiest hubs in the county, speed up trip times, and leave a long passing siding for freight trains on the original tracks in case the freight companies get mad about the tunnel height. The UTC tunnel ideally gets built with the Purple Line in mind so that a large quad-track tunnel can accommodate both services with a cross-platform transfer. With this new stop, we should get fast regional rail that connects to a huge residential and employment center directly without backtracking, and speeds up trip times along the entire route by over 10 minutes single-handedly. A Mar Fairgrounds Station would be huge for special events. When the county fair is held, there are incredible amounts of traffic on the nearby arterials and it routinely backs up onto the 5. By adding a station at the fairgrounds, you provide a high-capacity mode of transportation to a very high-demand venue, which is a perfect match. Currently, the shuttle buses get cramped and overfilled, showing there is a proven transit demand. The station would likely be used exclusively for special events and is being built as part of the replacement of a century old bridge. Design work is complete, with construction planned to start in 2027. The project is set to be completed by 2031. However, as mentioned earlier, the I-5 Del Mar tunnel routing would effectively block this station from being built. Since the tunnel portal ends up being so much further north, the tunnel would surface past the planned Fairgrounds Station. This even further reduces the appeal of an I-5 routing. Further north, an extension is planned to Camp Pendleton. This military base is host to 70,000 personnel and their families. Providing a rail link to this Marine Corps base will allow for easy access to a large employment and residential hub. Since this stop is north of Metrolink's southern terminus in Oceanside on its Orange County and Inland Empire Orange County lines, I envision Metrolink also serving this station. Back in the south, a station will soon be constructed at the Convention Center. This project has been planned for a long time and in April of 2025 finished design. It is planned to open to passengers in early 2027. A regional rail stop at the Convention Center makes a ton of sense. During busy events at the Convention Center such as Comic-Con, the trolleys get completely overwhelmed with demand, even with the special event line adding supplementary service. Extending a fast and high-capacity line here seems like a no-brainer, especially since a freight track already exists here. I expect this station to get very busy during special events, and even for Padre games since it's only a few blocks from Petco Park. As I mentioned before, the rail line is planned to extend all the way to the border, but I will leave that to a future video due to less certainty about alignment and time frame. With a southern extension though, the coaster will truly be a Blue Line Express overlay, serving the entire Blue Line corridor, and then some. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear about it in a future video. With station locations out of the way, let's talk travel times. Currently, the route takes 61 minutes end to end. With all the planned improvements and less scheduled padding due to reliability improvements, the coaster could traverse the current alignment in 35 minutes. Adding in the new stops and extensions would add a few minutes due to increased dwell and travel times, but overall you're still looking at speeding up the trip by 20 minutes, even though it's longer. This allows the coaster to act as an express overlay for the Blue Line, since with these upgrades, the route not only parallels the Blue Line, but has several key interchanges with the busiest trolley line in San Diego, getting people exactly where they need to go. Traveling from UTC in the north to Santa Fe Depot downtown on the Blue Line takes 35 minutes. This is pretty speedy for a transit option, but driving is still twice as fast. With the coaster, this time gets slashed to around 15 minutes. If I wanted to travel from UTC to Oceanside, a trip I've unfortunately had the misfortune of making a few times, the fastest travel option would be to either backtrack on the Blue Line to Old Town before switching to the coaster north, or take the scenic but slow Route 101 bus. The rail backtracking route takes an hour and a half, while the bus takes nearly 2 whole hours. Driving is just half an hour off peak, but gets near to an hour at peak. With the planned coaster improvements, this trip would take just 20 minutes. Man, I would have loved this when making the slog up to Oceanside. If I wanted to get from Solana Beach to Old Town, that would currently take half an hour by train and about 25 minutes by driving. With the UTC tunnel, and including a stop at UTC, it would take less than 15 minutes. The UTC tunnel by itself speeds trips up so much while also adding a large source of ridership, and I cannot wait for when Sandag eventually gets to planning it, and I hope they accelerate it. If you want to make these planned upgrades a reality, there is a way to make your voice heard. There is a link in my description to an easy one-click email that forwards personally curated talking points to Sandag. It is super easy to do. All you have to do is type in your name and press send. Boom, you send the email. Please take a minute out of your day to advocate for San Diego's transit, because it is damn important.